Let's get it. When it comes to relationships, whether personal, professional, romantic, start those relationships how you want to finish them. It doesn't mean you want to start the relationships angry. What it means is just simply conduct yourself consistently throughout the relationship. If you have certain expectations as far as how you want to be treated, things that you expect from a partner, etc., expect and demand those things from the beginning. Don't expect there to be an evolution. Now, I bring this up because I was watching the Sister Wives earlier seasons, and as I was going through it, there was an episode where Kody and Christine went away on their anniversary, and they decided to take the counselor or therapist with them so that they could work on their marriage. Now, of course, a lot of people who are familiar with the show understand that the whole fiasco with that therapy session where they were out at the shore and they were supposed to build a rock formation to illustrate their relationship. Christine wanted to build a formation that represented her marriage with Kody. And of course, Kody wanted to build a rock formation in the form of the family. Because when he's with Christine, it's all about the family, and she has to think about the bigger picture, and he's tired of her talking crap about Robin and not focusing on improving Robin's life because Robin is the family, because essentially Robin is his family. And I think that that's one of the things that they kind of missed. Now, I'm going to go through this, and in this video, I'm going to kind of get back to basics. And I want to kind of pull things or issues that I see that I think can be helpful to people and just open up a general discussion. It's not like a lecture, I'm telling you what to do, but I just want to kind of open up these bigger presentations. As we watch these shows, we can get more from them than just a run-of-the-mill drama. All right, so if you enjoy the content, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you're not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's easy to do. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel out. It helps me out. And hey, who doesn't want to help a brother out? And I almost jumped the gun by calling it the HBO special because I'm very excited about it. And what does HBO special stands for? That stands for Help a Brother Out Special. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and you will be notified when I upload new videos, as well as when I go figure out how to go live and I start streaming. All right. So without further ado, let's take a listen to what Kody and Christine had to say with regard to this particular therapy session.
To me, the Rock Tower ended up being very symbolic of our relationship because I feel like over the years you've needed things from me and I've just done them. I didn't really have a voice and I didn't really express a voice. I just thought, well, okay, that's what it's going to be. I'll just do it and I'll just go ahead and whatever you say. And I look back on there's a lot of times where I was so frustrated, but I didn't really speak, and it ends up being something that I'm angry about now because I didn't stand up for myself then.
And I think that that touches on a couple interesting points. One, she expressed that throughout the years, this is something that they had grown accustomed to. He would want to do something, she would have either opposition or she would have an opinion on said objective. Kody would look at her, basically steamroller, and because he was made a decision or he decided to move a certain way, she just kind of went along with it. And this is where I talk all the time about being a participant versus a spectator in your relationship. Any relationship that I have, whether it's friendships, romance, familial, mother, daughter, brother, sister, any of those relationships that I want to have or want to see people in, I always want them to feel like they're participants and active participants in those relationships. When I have relationships with my kids, father, daughter, father, son, etc., I want them to feel like they're a part of the relationship and they can come to me with things that may concern them. If I make a decision on something, I want them to be able to feel like they can express themselves. Now, if they do something wrong, again, I want them to feel like they have an opinion. Why did you do what you did? It's not just a matter of me yelling at you and trying to discipline you. I want to find out why you did what you did. Why did you come to the decision that you came to? If you're going to do the wrong thing, just have a good reason as to why you did it. That's my expectation. And that opens up the possibility that there can be some correction. If you don't have that type of relationship, and they can't come to you, they can't talk to you, they can't express themselves to you, then what happens is they start to hide from you, they start to deceive you, and they start to bury from you. In a romantic relationship, if you don't feel like you can talk to your partner about things that are going on in your relationship, then you really don't have a relationship. And if we just have to put it where the goats can get it. You can't have a functional relationship where only one person is actively participating in the relationship and the other person has a passive existence in that relationship. The buy-in just isn't there. And the sad part is that as you make these sacrifices, the person that you're making these sacrifices for, by not voicing your opinion, by not sharing your opinion and your perspective on things, you're not doing them any favors. And they don't recognize your sacrifice. Because after a while, this is just how the relationship works. Kody was probably more insulted at the fact that Christine is starting to buck up and starting to give an opinion, starting to have more of a spine and a backbone and starting to provide some resistance. See, now when she does that, it turns into, you're trying to undermine the family. You're trying to undermine my authority. She's just merely trying to express her opinion. And this is not to relieve Kody's responsibility and his hand in the failure of this communication and relationship, but it does show that there is some responsibility that has to be borne by Christine for allowing this to happen. It's the idea that this is how things are taken for granted. And maybe, it's her fault to the extent that maybe she just never had anybody come to her and say, hey, don't let people treat you like this and don't let them get used to it. Because if you allow somebody to get away with treating you like this, then when you try to stand up for yourself, now you're not standing up for yourself and giving yourself freedom. Now you're taking freedom away from that other person. When she stands up to Kody, she's not standing up to Kody for herself. Now she's taking power away from Kody. She gave Kody the power early on, or she allowed him to have it. And now when she's trying to take her power back, now Kody sees that as his power, and that creates a sense of conflict. Now, when we span it out, there is people who have introduced the idea that you can disagree with Kody, and you can stay married to Kody, and he will value your opinion. And that comes in the form of Robin. Now, as usual, I brought the receipts. So let's take a listen to what the therapist had to say when she asked Kody about Robin and whether Robin has a voice.
Did Robin consistently have a voice in her relationship with you?
Oh, she did.
Okay.
Definitely.
Is that what you really would like to have had or have now?
Yes.
And this is kind of where Robin talks all that, I have an orange and you have an apple. Why are you looking at my orange when you have an apple? And all that craziness. See, what it comes down to is simply this. Everybody's had a job or had a relationship where they've done something and somebody else who's worked that job has done the exact same thing. But it seems like you're the only person that gets in trouble for it. You show up to work 5 minutes late and all of a sudden the boss is flipping out, want to flip over tables and throw coffee against the wall. The other person, he took 2 weeks off, didn't show up, didn't call, nothing. And he just showed up the next day and everything is fine. Nobody says anything to him. What we have to understand is that even though situations can be the same or similar, there's a difference between situations and circumstances. You can have the same situation. Both Robin and Christine are married to Kody, but their circumstances are different. The situations are the same. They're both wives, but their circumstances are different because one is Christine, the wife that he has, I think at this time, almost 20 years marriage to, 20 plus years marriage to. And he's grown accustomed to treating her a certain way. And when Robin came into the marriage, she drew the line and said, look, This is what it is. If you don't want to treat me like this, I'm going to bounce. And you're not going to mistreat me. And I'm going to have a voice and I'm going to give my opinion. And then Kody allowed her to come in. And so she's in a relationship. I think at this point, she's only been married, quote unquote, married to Kody for about 5 years, maybe 1 year, a little over a year, a little under a year, legal married to Kody. And she's had a voice the entire time. Christine has been taking care of kids, working jobs. She's been throwing parties. She's been doing all kinds of things for the family. And Kody looks at her and tells you, you don't have the right to have an opinion because you are invested in this family. Robin just shows up, 3 kids in tow, all kinds of debts and bills, doesn't work anywhere, and she gets to make all kinds of demands about what the family should and shouldn't be doing and demand respect, and Kody respects her because of that. The ironic part about it is that Kody expects and respects Robin's opinion, and he probably doesn't respect the fact that Christine is such a pushover. That's the crazy part. She sacrificed herself and became a pushover so that she can continue the relationship with Kody and let things go. You know, you go along to get along and all that good stuff. And she laid down for Kody, and Kody doesn't respect her. And he'll probably look her in the face and say, you know, I wish you were stronger like Robin. I wish you were more like Robin. That's the ironic part. And then when she steps up and tries to be more like Robin, he'll slap her down and say, who do you think you are? Because now you're creating problems and you're undermining the family. Now, there's also a point where Christine gives her perspective of how Robin came into the family and the power she thinks Robin has within the family.
When Robin came into the family, I was shocked at how many times she disagreed with you. I always just gave in. You wanted to do something, I just gave in. I was like, whatever you needed, I just did. And I didn't argue, didn't even formulate an opinion all the way. And it completely shocked me that you loved her even though she was just arguing with you.
If you saw Kody's face, Kody was even annoyed at the fact she brought up Robin. How dare you talk about Robin? See, that's why I don't like you, because you keep talking about Robin and you need to be focused on the family, because I'm looking at the big picture. The big picture is Robin is his family. Christine, you're the help. And he can't have the help question in the family. And unfortunately, because she didn't start the relationship on a strong note, she's now having to ride it out. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean that Christine just has to sit there and suck it up because she didn't establish herself in the beginning? I have a conversation with my kid. The problem is my son is a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. And I could tell some stories about how my son is, you know, kind of scary nice. Like, he is super gentleman, nice guy, nice kid. And he has a cousin, right? And his cousin comes over to the house, and the cousin is about 5 years younger than him. And he basically watches him when he comes over to the house. And they'll play together, and the little cousin gets excited about seeing my son. And every now and again, the younger, my son's cousin will get a little excited about what's going on and what's happening. And he'll try to ball his fist up and take a swing at my son. Now, I've had conversations with my son, and I tell him, you got to nip that in the bud. You can't allow him to treat you that way, because it sets a precedent. Once he gets used to treating you that way, it becomes very difficult for you to stop him treating you that way. And if you what's going to happen is ultimately you're going to be limited in your recourse as far as having any type of resolution. You are basically broken down into a couple things. Either one, you stop the relationship altogether so that way you don't have to worry about it anymore. 2, you are going to have to do something so extreme to get him to stop doing it, because now you're taking something from him. And that's what I was saying earlier. If you have a situation where somebody is used to mistreating you, then that is the way that they treat you. It's no longer mistreating you. It's just how they treat you. And that's where Christine finds herself. She's not being mistreated by Kody as far as Kody is concerned. This is just their relationship. We don't have the kind of relationship where you give me your feedback and you give me pushback. Christine is taking the situation and trying to transpose it onto her circumstance. But the truth of the matter is, your circumstances are your circumstances. Robin is somebody different. So if Robin says something, Kody will accept it. Christine says something, it's a problem. I don't think that anybody would argue that if Robin and Kody were out on that beach with the therapist and they were going to build something representing their love, Kody would have insisted with Robin that they build something for the family. If anything, he might have built something representing Robin's family, meaning that Ariel, Aurora, Solomon, Dayton, and Brianna. Maybe, but I'm sure that he would build something to symbolize his relationship with just Robin, because the two of them are in love, and that's their situation and circumstance. Christine finds herself in a very unenviable situation where she wants to make a stand, but she can't. And unfortunately, what happened in season 17, in my opinion, is pretty much how it was always going to have to end if she insisted that she was no longer going to be taken advantage of. With all that being said, let's listen to what Kody would have to say as far as why he acts the way he acts with Christine and the excuse that he provides. Excuses, by the way, are only good for the people who make them. So for Kody, it's a great reason, but it's not a reason, it's an excuse. Because this excuse, or his quote-unquote reason, does nothing for nobody else.
My default is to fix, whereas I think women really want validation.
And this is more that manosphere bullcrap. This actually stems from a book that came out years and years ago. I think it was when I was in high school, and I don't want to say when that was, but it was a long time ago, right? And the book was called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And in this book, they try to say that men and women operate on different planes because men and women's approach and understanding of the world is completely different. Men approach things logically, women approach things emotionally. Men are problem solvers, women like to talk about problems. And even though you may be able to find circumstances and situations where this is true, here's the problem. When you're talking about, I want to solve problems, this is a problem. And the best way for you to be able to solve this problem is for you to have the conversation and use communication, or as the old folks used to say, use your damn words. Use your words. Say what's on your mind and have that conversation with your wife so that you can move on. Now, the bigger part of this is, in order for there to be a solution, both parties have to want for the solution to happen. Both parties have to be open to changes being made so that they can move forward as a couple. In this particular situation, yes, Christine is open to change. She's open to talk. She's open to communicate. She's open for things to be different and to evolve so that she can have a better relationship. However, Kody is not in that same boat. Kody just wants to figure a way to keep things the same. How do I know that? Because of this right here. And we're going to listen to the receipt.
What would make it so that I can still do what I have to do?
We're going to stop right there. What do we have to do so that I can do what I have to do? In other words, what can we do that I can continue to do whatever I want and not hear a whole lot of back talk from you when I do what I want to do anyway? I don't want to have the problems. I just want to be able to figure a way that I can do what I want and you let me do it. If this was a situation where, say, it's not just about him running roughshod over Christine. If he was having an affair, if you allow your man to cheat on you, or you allow your wife or woman or girlfriend to cheat on you in the beginning of your relationship, you can't be surprised that when you go through your relationship years later or you get married, that all of a sudden, I can't believe you're seeing other people. Yeah. Because that's how you started. That's how the relationship was formulated. And once they get used to doing it, for you to tell them that they can't do it is you taking something from them. And ultimately, what they're going to come to you and say is pretty much what Kody said. How can we set things up so that I can keep doing what I want to do and not hear your mouth about me doing it? That's the first part. Let's listen to the second part.
Love me still when I have a voice, when I speak my mind, when I allow me to speak my mind, and just love me anyway.
And that's one of those yes, queen moments. Like, yes, queen, yes. You get what you want. But the truth of the matter is that if you don't have that in your relationship, you can't force change on people who are not willing to change. You can't make Kody do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. You can't make, even though this will make your relationship better, even though this will make you a stronger partner and more involved in the relationship. And ironically enough, if Christine was more involved in a relationship, it would be harder for her to leave. And this actually may have prevented her from becoming the first ex-wife. You know what I mean? She's the third wife and she's the first ex-wife. Right? And that actually would have helped him in that situation, because part of the reason why it's so easy for people to leave is because they don't have that investment. So you want them to participate. And the easiest way for you to get that investment and for them to have the buy-in is for them to feel like they're participating. When people are making sacrifices, people are giving in, people are working towards stuff, and they feel like they're valued, then it's harder for them to walk away from that situation. However, when people are looking at this situation and they feel like they're being taken advantage of, they feel like they're being taken for granted, they feel like they're not being heard, that's when you start to see a lot of the cracks that happen in his relationship. I can even point towards the situation with Mary as far as the catfish. It's ironic, isn't it, that Mary's catfish situation happened right around the time that she got the legal divorce from Kody so that Kody could marry Robin. It's not just because she got the divorce, it's because Kody stopped paying attention to her. She stopped being a priority. She stopped feeling valuable. She stopped feeling like he was involving her and he was looking to her to be in this relationship. And because he failed on that front, it opened the door for somebody else to come in. And this doesn't just happen on reality shows or with Mary and the catfish. This happens every day. When people go to work and you take your wife for granted, or you take your husband for granted, and you send them out into the world, there is somebody out there in the street who is going to look at that and say, you know what? One man's trash is another man's treasure. You might think your wife is getting round and soft, but there's going to be somebody else who likes the dumps in the truck. You understand what I mean? Like, there's going to be that guy who's going to be looking for that junk in the trunk. So my wife ass getting used. There's going to be a guy there like, I like big butts. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of your relationships. You're maintaining your relationships. You're making sure that the other person is okay. They're involved. They're in tune with what's going on, that they're participating and they feel validated. Now, I have some other parts in here where Kody comes back and says, oh, you know what I heard? I heard her say that she just needs to be loved, and that'll make her feel validated, and then that's it, problem solved. No. What she said, I just want to be able to say my opinion and have you still be in love with me. No, because love is him allowing you to say your opinion. Why? Because you being you is who he should be in love with. You having your opinion and giving your perspective is why you are in a relationship with another human being. I don't believe in that half human stuff where you say you complete me. I am a complete whole human being. I want to be in relationships and have friendships with whole people so that way, when they give me their input, they give me their perspective, that's what I'm here for. That's why I bought the ticket, to get on a ride. Because I want that perspective. I want that opinion. If I'm just going to give my opinion and my opinion was the only thing and the only voice that mattered, then what's the point of me even talking to you? I already know what I think. I don't need you to echo my opinion. I want you to have your own opinion, your own views, your own thoughts. And then we can go back and forth and we can bounce off of each other. There's an old saying, and I'll end with this. Iron sharpens iron. And when you have iron and you clash it and you bang it, then you shape it into something that can be useful. And in most relationships, you're going to experience some heat. And as iron sharpens iron, the easiest way for you to have iron sharpen iron is put a little fire to it. Because when you do that, The iron becomes malleable and you can turn it into something beautiful and useful. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die.